Today is how to do a basic edit using Camera Raw. I really like to use Camera Raw to kind of start my images off. There's a ton of stuff you can do in there, and you're going to be able to really get a great overall feel and mood for your images without doing a ton of work later on, and you can apply it to several images. So I'm actually going to open up maybe like 3 images here and show you why Camera Raw is such a powerful tool. So when you have raw images and you open them, it's going to pull them up in Camera Raw. And what I like to do is start off by hitting auto and kind of seeing what is it suggesting that I do. And then from there, I'm going to start tuning things to make it my own. With this image, the first thing that I'm noticing is that it's a little darker than what I want. I want it to kind of be light and airy. And so I'm going to start raising my shadows, playing with those, playing with my highlights and my exposure. I really like to keep my whites and my blacks high and then pull my exposure down a little bit and then kind of play with my shadows from there. Every image that you do is going to have a different feel to it. At least for me, they do. So it's never going to be exactly the same. So as far as just the lighting and the exposure right now, I'm liking the way that this looks. One of the things that I like to do kind of on the beginning is bump my clarity and my texture just a little bit, not much, because that has a huge effect. And I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see the effect that that has, especially on her skin and her hair. Clarity. Now with clarity, if you go too high, you'll see that you start to get like super white whites, super dark darks. So you have to really be careful with these, and I don't do a ton with them beforehand. I just like to kind of boost them just a little bit. So you have your curves, which I don't do anything in Camera Raw with those. You have your details, and you can see what sharpening does. Sharpens the image. Now, the more you sharpen, the more kind of that grainy look you're going to get. But then you have noise reduction, right? So noise reduction is what's going to kind of counterbalance that just a little bit. So you see a lot of people who are probably opening their images and it has no noise reduction on it whatsoever. And they're like, it just doesn't look clear. Well, that's probably what's going on. You probably need to just come in and do that. Now, that's not always the case, but as of right now, that's what I'm seeing that needs to be done on this particular image. And I'm going to do the split screen so you can kind of see the before and the after of what we're doing. Now, her dark circles, stray hairs, acne, all that I'm going to do later on. Optics, I go into optics and I remove any sort of distortion that you're going to get from the lens. So I'm going to check those off so you can see what it does. So that one especially, you can see that it's correcting where the lens was adding a vignette and kind of some distortion in her body. The other thing that I like to do in Camera Raw, and this is what I was talking about as far as setting the overall mood, is I like to go first into my color grading, and I like to add colors to my shadows and my highlights. And so usually I'm using opposite end colors. With this image, since I did some of these already, I think what I liked was kind of this pink in my shadows. So you can see what that's doing there. So that's what this is. So it's the shadows. It gives you your colors. So you can add whatever color you want to those shadows. The purpose of this is really it's going to add some mood and it's going to affect the overall color of the image to make it cohesive. So this little slider here, you can see what it does. It's affecting the darkness and the lightness of those shadows. So I'm gonna probably keep it about the middle, which I think is probably normal for me. Now the highlights over here. So you can see you have your highlights, which you're gonna see that a lot in her skin. Whenever you're working with highlights, you need to really look at the skin because it is gonna affect it. Now, I see a lot of beginning photographers talk about, well, what color is the right color for the skin? And it really matters what you're doing. If you're doing a portrait and you need it to look exactly like the person, then you need to try to get a true skin tone. If you're doing something a little more artistic, then you have the ability to kind of play with that and go in its own direction. So again, this slider is going to affect the brightness and the darkness of those shadows. So I think I like it right about there. You can do the same thing for your midtones. You can add a color. I'm going to pull out so you can see what that's doing. I don't usually really do much with my midtones, so we're just going to keep that on neutral, which is going to be great. So you can see what that's done so far to the image. And now we're going to go into Color Mixer, and I'm going to explain this to you guys. So in Color Mixer, you're going to have hue, saturation, and luminance, or you can affect all of them at the same time, and I like to do them separately. So this is basically saying, where do you want your reds to be? Do you want them more red, more orange? And this is really all a matter of preference on where you want them. Same thing with the oranges. Where do you want them? I'm going to want them a little more yellow. Do you want your yellows a little more green, a little more orange? I like it right about there. My greens, there's really no greens in here, but sometimes there's colors in your photographs that you don't even see with your eye, but Photoshop reads them. So sometimes I like to come in, and if I know that I'm going away from blues and more towards greens, I might just slide it anyways so that it's affecting it. So far you probably haven't seen a huge difference in coloring, but when I get down here, you're going to see a lot of it. So this is my purples, and if you see, I'm going to zoom in so you can get a closer look. Let's go maybe 33%. Okay, so Photoshop actually reads the stress as two different colors. It reads it in the purples and the magentas, and you can tell that because it's only affecting certain parts. Now see the highlights, it sees as magenta. And if you can see that, watch this area right here. See? So I want to make sure that these two colors are going to be making the dress one color. I don't want it to be two colors. So we can obviously either go with this bluish color dress, this kind of purple pink dress, which is truer to the actual color that it was, or we can go super pink and go that direction. Previously I stayed with the purple, but let's just try something different and go with this pink color. Now we go to saturation. Saturation affects how saturated or how much color you want in those areas. So usually skin is composed of reds, but mainly orange and then yellow. So usually your reds are your shadows, your oranges are your midtones, your yellows are your highlights, typically. So I don't want her skin to be super saturated, but I don't want her to look dead either. So I'm going to pull those down just a little bit. And my yellow, so she's pretty much orange, if you see. So we're going to go right about there. And I like the way that looks. Again, your yellows, I do have yellows in my highlights, so I'm going to bump that up just a little bit. Greens and blues aren't going to do anything really And then the purples. So remember that dress is now purples and pinks. So we can either take all the purples out, but you can still see it's got a little magenta in the collar. So that's going to take all the color out of that dress. If you want it to go gray, then that's what we've just done. What if you wanted it to be white? See, now we've just taken that dress and we've made it white, but we don't want it to be white. We want it to be pink. So we're going to go back and how pink do we want it? I like it about there. Now luminance. So luminance affects the lightness and darkness of each individual color. So again, red, dark, red, light. I'm going to actually go lighter so that her lipstick, if you see it, is reading as red. So I'm going to go lighter so that it's kind of more in matches with the dress. Oranges. What do you want her to look like? Michael Jackson before, Michael Jackson after. We're gonna go right about there. Then the yellows. So the yellows I'm seeing mainly right here in this stool. But we're gonna lighten it up. And then again, greens and blues really aren't gonna do anything. And now that dress again, where do we want it to be? And you can see where it still reads purple, and that's fine. I like this. I like the softness of it. Now once I do that, then I'm going to go back to my basic, and now we're going to go mood. And remember, color affects the mood. So blue is cooler, yellow is warmer. That's going to give you an idea. I like it right about there. And again, so you can make her all pink. You can bring her back and make her green. Like it's in that area. Maybe I'm gonna adjust this a little bit more right there. Okay. Do I like it? I like it. So this is another reason why you can do this in Camera Raw versus trying to do this in the actual Photoshop on each individual image, is because now you can right click this and hit select all, and then you're going to sync your settings, hit OK. And now these images are going to match with this image. And that's pretty much what I'm using Camera Raw for. Like I said, it's a powerful tool. The best way for you to figure out how to use it is just to get in there, start playing with the different sliders and tools. And if you figure it out, then you're going to have a really powerful image to start with when you do pull it into Photoshop.